So today we'll be taking a look at some stories involving the Mysterios, WrestleMania's big change, some Bloodline related things, and much more. Let's start things off with this potential new change for all future WrestleMania events. From the original WrestleMania in 1985 all the way until WrestleMania 35 in 2019, WrestleMania was always this one-night event that was always identified as WWE's biggest day on their calendar year. It's their version of the NFL Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, and the MLB World Series, and so on. It's WWE's grand finale of their season, so to speak. And it's always been a one-night event until 2020, where their backs were really against the wall and pandemic issues caused a big conflict in the show. WrestleMania 36 obviously wasn't live. It was recorded a few days in advance throughout multiple taping sessions. Along the way, that's when the idea hit them to split all the content they had into 2 nights of WrestleMania, creating the first ever WrestleMania to feature 2 nights of action. WrestleMania was no longer a one-night event that went on for 6 or 7 hours. Now it was split between Saturday and Sunday for just around 3.5 hours each day. The structure was one of WWE's greatest discoveries throughout the pandemic era. The 2-night WrestleMania idea was welcomed with open arms by a majority of the fans. The idea was such a success during 2020 that WWE brought the 2-night WrestleMania structure to WrestleMania 37 in 2021, and again proved to be a massive success. One-night WrestleMania felt like this never-ending show, and even though the crowd may be hot towards the start of the show, chances are they'll be exhausted for the WrestleMania main event that takes place nearly 6 or 7 hours into the show. Splitting it into 2 nights also gives the live fans time to rest, with a shorter card for each night. The crowd can stay hot for the entire show. So now, the main events of Night 1 and Night 2 will roll around maybe 2 hours into the show, and the crowd is much more fresh, compared to the main event taking place 6 hours in. So it's great for live fans that will be in attendance, and it's great for the talent and the workers as well. Now certain matches have more time and focus. You can split the workload up between 2 days, and it just creates less stress for everyone involved. And just the fact that it's a weekend event rather than a Sunday-only event just gives the illusion that there's more to look forward to there. Well, it seems like WWE is starting to really like this format because it was just announced this week that WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas will in fact be a 2-night event as well. So this is big news. Fans of the 2-night format are going to be thrilled to discover that WrestleMania will be a 2-night event for now, the 3rd year in a row. However, reports believe that this format may become the new normal for WrestleMania. They claim that WWE will be permanently shifting over to this 2-night structure for every WrestleMania from here on out. And if that's true, that's great news. The 2-night format would be sticking around permanently. You get the well-rested crowd, more time for matches, and more opportunities for talent to main event WrestleMania, since there's now technically 2 main event spots. So that's big news regarding WrestleMania. Are you a fan of the 2-night format? The Mysterios have been moved back over to WWE Raw after spending the last year on SmackDown. Rey Mysterio was involved with the #1 Contenders ladder match this past week on Raw. But obviously, Rey's big important storyline is going on outside of the ring with Dominik. We saw the story first unfold over at SmackDown, where Rey Mysterio constantly ignored Dominik's request for him to stay put in the back during all of his matches. Rey, being the concerned father that he is, always would find a reason to come out to ringside when things started to get a little messy for Dominik. Rey would accidentally end up costing Dominik the match every time, and that led to some frustration. We even saw Dominik try to peacefully kick it back to Rey when Dominik refused to join Rey at ringside and stayed in the back during Rey's matches. Obviously, tension is growing here, and everyone seems to have an idea of where they're going here. Everyone knows that Dominik will eventually turn on Rey Mysterio, and that will lead to the beginning of Dominik truly being on his own. Reports have also been talking a lot about a masked heel look for Dominik lately, so that's something else that we could potentially see once that turn does happen. In other Mysterio-related news, Aalyah Mysterio could be coming back to WWE in the future. Rey Mysterio recently spoke with TV Insider to discuss how Aalyah has been bringing up the idea of wrestling more and more. Rey had this to say on her future, quote, "Not too long ago, she asked, 'Dad, what would you say if I wanted to step in the ring?' I said, 'As long as you don't leave your career behind.' She wants to join the medical field. As long as she does that and tries wrestling as a second option, I don't mind. She always had the curiosity to take a bump. Hit the ropes. I said, whenever you want to try it, let me know. I think it's in the back of her mind. She is very dedicated to her school and education. I'm proud of that right now." So Aalyah seems to be dedicated on her medical career, but that desire to wrestle and be in WWE does seem to be there for her as well. Aalyah has been appearing on WWE television since she was very young, but her first big tryout, so to speak, was in summer of 2020. Aalyah was on a very limited part-time deal, and she was actively involved in WWE storylines before her story was dropped in December of 2020. Reports at the time claimed that Vince McMahon and the rest of WWE were blown away by Aalyah's performance. Aalyah, at the time, was 19, with no prior acting experiences or anything like that. She just came in and gave it her all, and blew everyone away with the performance. So it was a good little test run for both sides. WWE had an early look of how Aalyah would be like in WWE, and Aalyah had an early look of how life on WWE television would be. Aalyah is currently 20 years old, and it sounds like Rey seriously wants her to truly get the medical career underway, and for wrestling to potentially be her second career option. So we'll have to see what happens there, but it appears that Aalyah's desire to wrestling is growing. The Bloodline just got another official member on WWE television. This week saw the official WWE debut of Solo Sikoa. In reality, Solo is Jimmy and Jay's younger brother. He has a direct connection to Roman Reigns and obviously the entire Bloodline. The Usos reacted to their brother's WWE debut on Twitter by posting a single emoji of a blood drop, signifying that he is their blood. He's a part of the family, and they're happy to see him finally here in WWE. Anyone that has followed Solo's path knows that it's been a long journey and grind for him to join WWE. He didn't want to be brought into WWE based on his family alone. He wanted to prove that he belonged based on his personal skills alone. That's exactly what he did. Now he's going to play a key role in the new version of NXT. But like his short promo told us, this character seems to be a lone wolf sort of character. He claims that he was left to fight alone on the streets at the age of 15. So it doesn't appear that WWE wants the casual audience to know about his connection to the Bloodline. It also sounds like he will be staying by himself for a while. But you never know what the future holds and if he could make a main roster debut one day with the Bloodline. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.